Greetings, morning. Give thanks and praises to the Most High. And I want to thank the Most High for giving me all the knowledge and wisdom to share it with the people of the world. You understand? Who have been fooled for centuries, believing in one thing. Today we're going to talk about cancer. And I'm positive that a lot of people who is going to view my video knows of somebody who died from cancer, or a family member who have it, or a friend, or a relative who is suffering from that disease. Alright? We're going to try to do a 3-part program on cancer because we were asked to do a video on that. And we're going to have a few of my patients who is in remission, who is cancer free from not even doing chemotherapy, radiation or surgery. Alright? We're going to talk about that in a little while. But my interest became very enthusiastic in cancers after my father died from prostate cancer. My sister, who had uterine cancer, removed her uterus. Then I have a sister who had breast cancer. We treated her, was in remission, and went back doing the same thing, and she died. Then I have another sister who I'm treating now for breast cancer. 8 years now. She is cancer free. And I have another sister, my twin sister, because I'm a twin, who has thyroid cancer and was given iodine radiation. Didn't fix it. And now I am treating her, and she's still living after 5 years. Right? So let's see. I'll talk about what is cancer. In order for us to understand what cancer is, we have to understand how the system works. If you live in a city have garbage collectors, they have garbage disposal people, they have police officers, and they have criminals. It's the same exact principle in your body. In our body, there are garbage collectors, there are the disposal of the garbage, there is police officers in our system who is looking for criminals like cancer cells and viruses and yeast. Yeah? And then there are the criminals who is trying to harm us. We call them free radicals. Right? Now, cancer is a group of cells that clump together and form a tumor in your body. It's either a benign tumor or a malignant tumor. Malignant means that the tumor is cancerous. Right? When these tumors form, you have to understand how the cells work. Because your body have 4 parts that protect us from all these things. The bone marrow, your thymus gland, right under your neck, your lymphatic system, and your spleen. They all are part of the immune system. And in your thymus gland, you house your T lymphocytes. And in your thymus gland, if you don't have enough B6, vitamin C, and zinc in the thymus, your thymus can never ever produce that hormone called thymosin to manufacture your T lymphocyte which kill cancer cells. And if your thymus gland shrinks prematurely, no doctors can doubt that, you will pick up or get cancers faster because the thymus gland shrinks as we age. See? So those are the 4 parts of the immune system that keep us well. Because God put 2 systems in us. One to protect us from cancer cells, viruses, antigens, bacteria, yeast, fungi, and parasites. And if by any chance we get any one of them, Jehovah put another system in us again to repair what is damaged, called the immune system. So you have to have good immunity in order for you to fight or kill cancer cells. Right? Now, there are different forms of cancers. One is called carcinoma. And carcinoma are cancers of the hollow areas, stomach, intestines, lungs. They call carcinoma cancers. And then there is a cancer called sarcomas. They are cancers of the tissues and the muscles. And they're very difficult to fix because they seem to replenish themselves on a regular basis. Then you have leukemia, cancer of the blood, of the cells. Non-forming tumor cancer, that's what it is. That's environmental cancer because 80% of the cancers come from your diet and 20% of cancers come from the environment. Follow me. So that is the key. Right? Then you have lymphomas. That's cancers of the lymphatic system. Then you have multiple myeloma, cancer of the nerves and the bones. And then you have blastomas, childhood cancers. Because cancer kills children more than dogs do. More than dogs. So cancer kills our children more than cancer kills dogs. Then you have the neuroblastomas. And then you have the melanoma, cancer of the skin. So there are different types of cancers. So you have to know which cancer you have. But there is protection against cancers from the food you eat. We call them phytonutrients. So let's talk about how cancer develops. When you're eating the wrong foods, because 80% of cancers come from diet. See? And you have what we call a molecule called free radical. And you have an electron. If you do chemistry, you know what I'm talking about. Because you have electron comes in pairs. And once you have an excessive amount of free radicals, a molecule called free radicals, that damages or steal your electron become in pair. And if your free radical keep on stealing your electron, we call it the electron transport system. Once that happens, it starts to damage your DNA or the nucleus in your DNA, which is the management of your cells. And your cells will do what? Will mutate because of oxidative damage, because of the food you eat. And once you have oxidative damage because of free radical damaging your cells will do what? It will mutate. Mutate means change. Become a sick cell. And if you don't have good immunity, meaning that your T lymphocytes and all the B cells and all the NK cells don't work well because you're eating the wrong food, your mutation of that cell will fool your immune system. And then it initiates, we call it initiation in the medical system. It initiates into a cancer cell. And if your immune system still don't pick it up, it does what? Promote itself. And if your immune system don't pick it up again, it progresses. And once it progresses into a cancer cell. And after the cancer cell, it metastasizes or it moves to a different area of the body. So if you have lung cancer and you have a cell moving from your lungs, because the cells in your lungs are supposed to keep you breathing. But if that lung cell move and migrate to your liver, it's not supposed to be in your liver. So it disrupts the function of your liver and cause the cancer to even move further. Yeah? So that is what causes cancer. From the food you eat, oxidation, stress, which increases acid in the tissues, mucus, because of the food you eat. And if you don't use the food in nature, because nature have all the cures, you won't come down with cancer if you have a genetic predisposition of getting it. Meaning that you eat in the same way your mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, uncles and aunts been eating. That's what it is. You understand? Not about your genes. It's about your predisposition of getting a disease. Alright? Now, in the system, I talked about disposal of waste. You have to dispose of toxins from the body. If not, you have an accumulation of toxins from what? Pesticide, herbicides, nitrates, nitrates, cigarette smoke, free radicals, beef, meat, pork, all these foods that create all these havoc in your system, that don't protect your immune system. They don't protect it like the phytochemicals do. And they boil up in your body. And all of a sudden, you start to have a mutation of your cells. And then your cells change or get sick. And if your cell do not commit what we call apoptosis, cell death in the medical system, then you will have some troubles with that cell. And that cell could change into a cancer cell. And if you don't have good immunity, meaning that your immune system is not functioning well, because cancer is an immune disease, you will have troubles with cancer. So let's look at a few foods that cause cancer. Right over here. Punch it in. Cakes. That don't fix your immune system. That kills your immune system. That mashes up your pancreas. It kills it. So that is a cancer promoter. It don't fix your thymus gland. It don't help to cure to balance back your lymphatic system. Next one over here. Fries. Bad for the heart. Creates free radicals. Then your free radicals steal your electron. They become impaired. It affects your DNA in a negative way, your nucleus, and you become a candidate for cancer. These are the foods that cause that. And much more like them. And that's what the Americans eat on a regular basis. That's why the second leading cause of death in America is cancer, beside heart disease. You understand? So your cure or your prevention of cancer is found in nature. We call them phytochemicals or phytonutrients because they prevent oxidative damage of the cells. First one. Kiss him up. His name is rosemary. Rosemary it is one of the most abundant antioxidant. This herb called rosemary. Research, not me, Patrick Dell, scientists is telling you now. In Jersey, in the university. Rosemary have lots of antioxidants, more antioxidant than vitamin E. And rosemary prevents tumors from forming in your body. And it deals with brain fog. You can never get memory troubles using this herb. You can never get Parkinson's disease using this herb. You can never get Alzheimer's disease using this herb. Full of antioxidants, full of vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, full of it. But you all don't use it though. You all love the cakes and the fries, which don't feed your immune system nothing. This herb prevents oxidative damage. And it prevents all the bad prostaglandins and the COX inhibitors from damaging your DNA. This herb does that. Found in nature. Ginger. Have gingerol and gingerine. Another cancer preventer. Another cancer preventer, ginger. Dr. Mitchell Gaynor used a lot of this herb in his treatment of cancer patients. And I love him very much because he's open-minded. He don't just use chemotherapy. Because you can never ever fix a toxic disease with a toxic drug. Never ever. You can never ever fix a toxic disease with a toxic drug. And chemotherapy is a toxic drug. Radiation causes cancer. Secondary cancer, that is. And when you remove your breast, you still take chemo, you still die. So that tells you that you have to meditate or contemplate on your treatment. Ginger. What ginger does, not only circulation, lung cancer. Prevent a damp, dry lung condition. Huh? It also detoxifies what? Benzoprene from cigarettes. Benzene that they put in your foods. Ammonia, nitrate and nitrates, it detoxifies them. Move them out of the body because they deal with circulation. Ginger does that. You don't use it though. Eat all the cakes and the fries, which don't fix nothing. IP6. Any cancer patient must have that. IP6. I give it to all my patients. And IP6 increases the function of your NK cells, natural killer cells, to kill cancer cells. Because that's what the NK cell does. They don't tell you that though. It increases the function of your NK cells. See? IP6 does that. Modified citrus pectin. You know where that come from? Orange peel. Grapefruit peels. Lime peel. Lemon peel. All the citrus fruits and tangerine skin. Hear what this does. When your cancer is moving from your liver to your lungs, and it wants to camouflage and fool the immune system, these things that is found in nature, modified citrus pectin, it uncoats the cancer cells so that your immune system can pick it up and destroy them. They are found in nature, but it cannot be patented, so they don't use them in the medical system because chemotherapy is a business. They're found in nature. God put them here for us to use to kill cancer cells or fight cancers, prevent cancers. String beans, natural insulin, pancreatic cancer. Once you have pancreatic cancer, you must use string beans. Once you have pancreatic cancer, you must use beets for choline, for the liver, to prevent the cancer from going to your liver, because beets have a lot of choline. It detoxifies your liver. It detoxifies your liver. When you have cancer in the pancreas, you must use enzymes. Once you have cancer in the pancreas, you must use string beans. And you must remove the cause of the cancer in the pancreas by preventing your pancreas from producing enzymes within the exocrine part of your pancreas. They don't tell you these things though, because they don't want you to know. And that's why we are here to educate the people. Education is the key, and knowledge is power. You understand? All right. Now, see them here? Phytonutrients are found in nature. That's your cancer prevention. That's your cancer prevention right here. Not them cakes and them fries and them greasy foods. They promote cancers. Barbecue foods promote cancer. They have a lot of carcinogens. You understand? When you have cancer and you don't work on the immune system, you're going to die. Because chemotherapy is a toxic drug. And guess what they do? They use an herb called periwinkle, which we use for cancer, and make a drug called cisplatin. They use another herb called YEW, good for cancer treatment, and make another drug, a chemotherapeutic drug for cancer. Because they could patent that. Right. Okay, now, take it right here. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that, no. Breast cancer. When you have a tumor in your breast, we could remove the tumor by using what we call cancer salves from the breast. The tumor drops out. The hole in your breast, you have to lose your breast for that. You take your breast off, you take chemotherapy, and you still die. And then they give you tamoxifen for 5 years to block the receptors, oxygen from estrogen, from getting into your receptors. But after 5 years, you have to remove or stop the tamoxifen, because tamoxifen causes uterine cancer. You see what I'm saying? You understand? And when you take the chemotherapy, they give you 5 years survival rate. 5 years survival rate does not mean you're going to fix your cancer. They give you 5 years to live. And after 5 years, your cancer come back. See? But you have to learn to look for the cures in nature. So the next video we're going to do, we're going to give you lots of nutrients, lots of things that you can use to reverse your cancer, because we had a lady who had uterine cancer, took the chemotherapy, cancer went to her liver, cancer went to her lungs. Guess what now? She's alive after 6 years. No cancer in the liver no more, no cancer in the lungs no more, because she followed a principle of reversing the way she eats and using the phytonutrients. But when you have cancer, you can't have no animosity. When you have cancer, you can't hate nobody. When you have cancer, you can't have no stress. And when you have cancer, last but not least, you can never ever fix any cancer if you don't have forgiveness. That is the key. So all the nutrients you're going to take every day, they will work. But if you don't have a peace of mind, and if you don't try to forgive your brother, or if you want to have animosity, and you want to have hate and jealousy and envy, you will never ever fix your cancer. So on the next video, which is on Saturday, we are going to do, I have one of my cancer survivors, 14 years, no chemotherapy, didn't remove his prostate gland, and he survived it, because we taught him how to revolutionize the system and change his diet. And we will have many more information on the 3-part program on cancer. So until, give God the glory. I don't care who say he don't live. I don't care who say he not existing. I don't care who say that. I believe. And I believe without him, there is no healing. Have a blessed day. All right.